Hello, scholars. I'm going to look at two Quill parallel structure exercises. I'll start with the either or, neither nor, both and exercise, and then take a look at a sentence or two from Advanced Parallel Structure Farmers. When you look at the either or exercise, I'd like you to mentally think both this and that, either this or that, neither this nor that, not only this, but also that. And whatever your this is, it needs to match the that. Or rather, the form of the this needs to match the form of the that. So you can look at what comes directly after those words, the both, the and, the either, the or, again, and whatever comes directly after needs to have the same form. By the way, these little multi-word conjunctions are called correlative conjunctions. They're joining words, but unlike just when we join, say, a sentence with and, it's two words or more than two words working together to join the ideas. Okay, so again, we'll say both this and that. Then we'll compare our this, and it should match the form of our that. Okay, now if that doesn't make sense, let's take a little example, and maybe that'll make it clearer. So I've got two sentences. I want to go to the museum. I want to go to the dog show. And I want to put them together with an either or. So either this or that. Now let's say I start my sentence this way. I want to either blank or blank. Well, in my first blank, I want to either go to the museum, right? That's what's going to fit there. So I need to match that on the other side with go to the dog show, like this. Now with these conjunctions, you can move them around a little bit in the sentence, and that's okay. Let's try this position. I want to go either blank or blank. Okay, if I fill in that first blank, I want to go either to the museum. Well, I need to match that in the other blank with to the dog show. Now let's move the conjunction to just one more spot in the sentence. I want to go to either blank or blank. If I fill in my first blank, I want to go to either the museum, and I need to match that on the other side with the dog show. So again, whatever immediately follows the conjunction either needs to match whatever immediately follows the conjunction or. My this needs to match my that. Let's take a look at the exercise now. My first sentence here matches the example that I just gave you. So let's say I want to go to, I'll put my to there, and then let's do the either the park, and I need what comes immediately after the either to match immediately what comes after the or the pool. So my this and my that need to match either this, the park, or that, the pool. Let's get feedback. Next question. Trey learned how to play the guitar. Trey learned how to play the flute. So it's a both and. So both this and that. Let's say Trey learned both how to play the flute and. Now if I look at what immediately follows the both, it's the whole phrase how to play the flute. So I need to match that with, I should start with guitar, shouldn't I? And how to play the flute. So I've got my both, this and that. My this here should match my that here. Let's get feedback. And I can tell you I played the flute in high school and played it reasonably well. As an adult, I've tried to learn the guitar and I'm terrible. I think it's much harder to learn the guitar. But maybe it's just because I'm old and it's harder to learn new things. I don't know. Learn a lot of things while you're young and your brains are flexible. Next one. For lunch, we can have soup. We can have sandwiches. It's an either or, so either this or that. For lunch, we can, let's put our either right here. Either have soup or have sandwiches. And let's check. So it's either this or that. Either have soup or have sandwiches. Now, if you take a look at the options, remember that these conjunctions can kind of slide around a little bit, and that's fine to put them in different positions. But either way, I look at what immediately comes after the either, what immediately comes after the or, and they should match. So either we can have soup, that's a full clause there, or we can have sandwiches, that's a full clause there. Those two things match. If I slide it here, either have soup or have sandwiches, those two things match. Either soup or sandwiches. Again, what immediately comes after matches, so my this matches my that. And let me just say that I would not choose between soup and sandwiches. I think soup and sandwiches makes a delicious meal. Nice grilled cheese, tomato soup, fabulous. After school, I like going to the library. I like to see my friends. Okay, I think for this one, let's say after school. Let's try putting it right here. I either like going to the library or like going to see my friends. And let's see if those match. Okay, either this, like going to the library, or that, like going to see my friends. It feels a little repetitive, but grammatically it's all right. Let's see what the feedback is. Use the action word only once. So they don't want me to repeat like. All right, well then we've got to move this. How about this? I like either going to the library or going to see my friends. I like either this or that. Let's see if it likes this better. It matches, but again, I've repeated the word going, so maybe it's not going to like that. Let's see. Oh, all right, let's try it again. So let's move over this. I like going either to the library. I like going out to the library, seeing my friends. I don't know, that's not quite working. Let's try it again. Let's try this. Let's do the tip there and make the C an ing phrase. I like either going to the library or seeing my friends. Let's see if it likes that better. Okay, so in this case, I've got going and then I've got seeing, so I've got two ing phrases there. Well, let's check. It's like solving a puzzle, right? Or mind reading, like trying to read the minds of the people who wrote the questions. All right, that works. Let's do one more and then we'll call it good for this exercise. When a project is hard, you can give up. You can try even harder. So either or. So either this or that. When a project is hard, you can either give up or, so again, right after the either, I've got give up. So I need to match that with a similar phrase. Try even harder. So either this or that. All right, looks like those two match. Let's see. All right, let's stop right here on this exercise and move on to the next one. In this exercise, we're just going to turn the sentences into one sentence, and we just want to make sure that the pieces all match. So basically, we're going to have, I think, some lists, and the form of the words in the list needs to match. So I've got dairy farmers raise cows. The cows are also fed by dairy farmers. So I could make that into dairy farmers raise cows and feed cows, or I could just, let's keep it even simpler than that, say dairy farmers raise and feed cows. And then I've got my next sentence, collecting milk. So, well, actually, you know what? Let's take it two sentences to begin with, and then add the other ones in. So, dairy farmers raise cows. And then we want to add the feed in there. So they raise and feed cows. And those two match, raise, feed. Collecting milk is also something dairy farmers do. So let's take that collecting and turn it into a verb that matches. They raise and feed cows. Collect milk. And then let's add our last one in here. Dairy farmers work with cheese factories. My grandpa was a dairy farmer. I remember being very young and going into the milking parlor and watching him milk the cows, put the little suction things on the udders. That was a long time ago. Just proofread here, dairy farmers raise and feed cows, collect milk, and work with cheese factories. So all my verbs match. They're all in the same form. They're just that simple present tense. Raise, feed, collect, work. Should be good. Let's take a look at the next one. Okay, so let's just take it a sentence at a time. Well, the first two sentences at a time. Vegetable farmers pull farm machinery with tractors. Loosening soil with cultivators is also done by vegetable farmers. Okay, it looks like we can just, again, do the same thing and just make this a pretty simple list. So, vegetable farmers pull farm machinery with tractors. Loosen soil with cultivators. Smooth out soil with harrows. And plant seeds with planters. So a nice list here. Vegetable farmers pull, loosen, smooth out, and plant. You see any typos? Looks good to me. All right, let's do one more here. Beekeepers are managing bee colonies. Beekeepers collect honey. So our first two sentences, we've got an ing form, and then, so that's the present progressive, and then the present simple, but basically an ing form and then the not ing form. So I think it's going to sound better if we just go with the basic simple one without the ing. So let's just start by combining those two. Beekeepers manage bee colonies, collect honey. Okay, and then I've got packaging honey. Let's take that, make it into a verb. So just package honey. And provide medicine. That gives me this image of like a little bee clinic with like little bee doctors passing out little tiny pills or something to patients. All right, let's read back through it. Beekeepers manage bee colonies, collect honey, package honey, and provide medicine for the bees. All right, pretty straightforward exercise, I think. Just take it a sentence at a time and make sure all the verbs are in the same form. Oh, what did I miss? Collect honey and package honey. All right, so let's put those together. Collect and package honey. There we go. They manage bee colonies, collect and package honey, and provide medicine for the bees. That should work better. All right, good enough for now. Happy sentence combining.